Must be our partners at HIEMA, the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency. And we're fortunate to be joined now by Luke Myers over there at HIEMA. Luke, what do you have to say about seeing this most recent forecast? What are your estimates for what remains of this storm and for Kauai?
Good afternoon. We continue to track Hurricane Douglas as it's moving slightly north of Oahu, which you're very grateful for at this point in time. We do want to urge caution to the residents, especially on the north side of Oahu, that we could have feeder bands, impacts, thunderstorms, and wind, and obviously surf conditions. But it looks like a majority of Maui County and the Big Island have dodged a bullet at this time. As we settle in for the evening in our night shift that's about to come on, we're going to be setting our sights and providing support to Kauai County. And hopefully the storm will take enough latitude to the north that even Kauai may get a glancing blow too.
Is that Kauai still needed at this point? That could, we get to them, or was everything pre-staged there? Tell us about how you sort of chased these likelihoods around the state through this whole thing, and how did you make sure each island had what it needed?
Yeah, so we work with each of our counties based on their operational needs. Based on the current forecast, we've seen Hawaii County, Maui, Oahu, and now Kauai, shelter capacity, resources, generators, commodities, things of that nature. As the track has changed, we've worked specifically with the county and civil defense agencies to adjust what might be needed there. Once we have certain environmental conditions, those resources are set, and then we kind of stand by. So we spent most of the day watching Douglas, as you all have, move by the islands just to the north with some limited impacts in Maui County, and so far some limited impacts here on Oahu. But right now we're comfortable with our resources that have been put into Kauai, and we'll be waiting to see the impacts overnight.
Thank you. I did speak earlier with Governor David Ige, and we were talking quite a bit about shelters. And again, so fortunate that this time that folks didn't need it, but had the track been just a little bit different, many more people may have needed it. And shelters that can withstand any kind of category, even some ones, certainly anything above one, are in very short supply, as are volunteers for them sometimes. What's on your hit list for the near future for improving the situation with access to shelters?
Yeah, obviously during these times with COVID, we have reduced capacity in shelters, not only here, but across the country for any of the hazards that we face. This was a good test so far for Douglas on how we'll work together with our counties in supporting them. They do lead for sheltering capacity. We have a number of challenges ahead. Obviously volunteers, the more volunteers that we can get trained up will help with staffing, and obviously further assessments for facilities, whether they are state facilities or private facilities, will be on the list as we move forward deeper into hurricane season.
Sure. And you've had so many different kinds of disasters to deal with in recent years. We have the lava, we had the rain bomb on Kauai that blocked off the whole community up in Haena and Wainiha. And whether it was Puna with the lava or Wainiha and Haena, the aspect of having pre-agreements in place with all sorts of different, whether it's vendors and private services that can get there and help you, or whether it's having the kind of alternative access to these different kind of communities. Tell me more how you're building those kind of situations, because you could have a localized landslide or a series of landslides that means you got to come by boat or helicopter or somehow else. Are those kind of agreements and resources and access to those ever better when we look back and compare to 2018, so, for example, when it kind of had to be built on the fly?
Yeah, what we tend to look at from a vulnerability perspective is with our transportation infrastructure on each of our islands, we tend to have a ring. And so when we have a disaster that wipes out a transportation network that connects those rings, we have isolated communities. As you pointed out in the April 2018 flooding and the lava and some of our other incidents that we've had, we've really tried to work with our state and county partners specifically on how we can get commodities and resources to those isolated communities. We've done a number of risk and vulnerability assessments to identify those. Obviously, each hazard and incident is different. So we've tried to pre-position and work through contracts with a number of partners on those capabilities.
Thanks. Let's talk about the 14-day supply. You know, and again, thank goodness for storms that pass to our north. But were there to be a serious storm from the south, had Lane come close as it threatened to, our ports, our airports, and our main port, our hub and spoke port in Honolulu could be in some serious trouble. You know, we've talked about this before, but is 14 days enough for the worst case, or where do you see the future going with individual preparation? Could someday it move to a recommendation beyond 14? Or do you look more into community staging, big box and warehousing? You know, tell me how you might approach the future if there was a 4 or a 5 that knocked out shipping.
We definitely believe in an all-hazard preparedness message here. We think the 14-day supply is a nice bar for the community to strive to. Obviously, in COVID times and some of the economic challenges that our residents are facing right now, if they can build a kit, if they can build capacity, whether it's lava, whether it's a tsunami or flood or a hurricane, 14 days will allow the time for the government to get resources here to provide further support. We don't want to create a bar so high that individuals won't want to make a commitment to being prepared. So at this time, we wouldn't see trying to extend that bar, but we do want to overall push the all-hazard message of 14 days of supplies for all the hazards we're faced with.
Well, that's a good recommendation, and many people, especially in Honolulu, live in apartments where you'll be lucky to find room for, you know, 8 or 10 days of food and water. So to that second half of the question about then, are you continuing to work on expanding just-in-time inventory, resources at warehousing? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of years ago there was talk of taking a survey with the retailers. Okay, what really is currently on island, so we know what we have to bring. So maybe to the point where you're talking about the commercial side of things and even some public sector warehousing, because not everybody in an urban setting can even store 14 days. Tell me about sort of the big picture or the big warehousing side.
From a logistics and supply chain perspective, we've seen this with COVID and with other hurricanes and storms, some that don't even impact the islands here. Obviously, if the supply chain is disrupted, citizens will have to rely on what's on the shelves or what they have at home. We have worked with some businesses on looking at larger box solutions with Walmart or Costco or Target through some of those private sector relationships. It's a work in progress at this time. We do understand that the supply chain, there are a lot of different commodities that come through and there are a lot of different partners. So we continue to strive to build those relationships and work with those individuals. We know that any response to an incident is a whole community response. So it's not only going to rely on a neighbor helping neighbor, but it's also going to rely on a business helping us all.
Well, and the best case scenario, too, is, of course, to work on port resilience and airport resilience as well, right? Just keep that infrastructure going and built up most quickly, or rebuilt most quickly if there was something terrible to happen. Is that a focus you folks have in terms of keeping the air cargo and the ocean cargo getting into a priority stage of restoration?
Yes, we've had a number of long-term projects to look at airport and seaport redundancy and resilience. We work very closely with our state and county partners on those items. Obviously, any additional deep water ports or long-term resiliency planning with regards to those is going to take time and a financial commitment. But we won't be able to solve those in the short term. So we need to work together as these incidents come up and lay the strategic framework for what may come during the next 6 or 9 months.
Well, thank you for keeping such a close eye and a common sense eye on both near-term and long-term solutions. We appreciate the work that you do.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time. And obviously, we're just in the beginning of hurricane season. So please have you all check into ready.hawaii.gov as we continue the all-hazard preparedness message here. Have a nice night.
You as well. And we'll put a link up to that website that he referred to, ready.hawaii.gov. Thank you.